Good evening, everybody. My name is Nilesh Gupta. I head RuPay Card Acceptance for POS and Ecom business at NPCI. Today we have gathered for with this panel discussion on the topic of soft POS and offline POS to play the catalyst role for building digital Bharat. This is with the theme that we take 5 million POS terminals that we have today to 50 million POS acceptance touchpoints. For this panel discussion, we have our esteemed panelists. We have Mr. Mohit Bedi, who's the SVP and Business Head, Acquiring and Commercial Payments Business at Axis Bank. We have Sanjeev Kumar, who's the CTO at Pine Labs. We have Mr. Vishal Maru, who's the Senior Vice President at Worldline. And we have Mr. Tata Venugopal, who's the GM, Union Bank of India. So thank you everybody for your presence today, this evening. We will start with our first discussion point. So we all know today when we look at the number of POS terminals that has grown over the period of last 4 years from where it used to be. We have seen a clear growth of 1.4 million terminals, which used to be in the year 2016, growing to almost 5 million POS terminals as we speak now. So while we have covered this much of journey, we also know for the remote and rural areas, there are still limited connectivity and less acceptability of digital transactions. So my question is to Mohit, how do you think there will be an impact of this offline functionality that RBI has permitted now on the retail side, as well as coupled with the soft POS solution which is prevailing now, will create a impact on either to help the economy in these areas or to enhance the acceptability or to enhance the consumer experience?
First of all, thanks Nilesh for having me in the panel. So at Axis Bank, we service close to 60 cities in India as far as acquiring is concerned. I don't know if we know which these 1600 names of these 1600 cities becomes a tough task. So we travel a lot, and we've seen that the two biggest issues as deeper you go into India is primarily around the cost of the terminal or expenses that these merchants bear. And second, obviously, is the connectivity. So when in fact, we powered the Hornbill Festival in Northeast, and we had gone there, and we had powered the entire payments infrastructure for the police over there. Now, the biggest challenge over there we were facing was around connectivity, because there is no telecom network that gives you the kind of support that Northeast region specifically requires. And secondly, when you tell them that, okay, why don't you take a 4G or a Wi-Fi terminal, the more functionalities or more kind of connectivity that are brought onto the terminal, the more expensive it becomes. So for example, our Android terminal is obviously more expensive than GPRS terminal.
Right.
Now, what happens with the soft POS is, one, your form factor becomes your own phone, correct? Which means it becomes affordable.
Right.
And secondly, you are used to the interface, right? You are used to Android interface, so it becomes easier to use. So soft POS for us, we look at it as a differentiator in terms of form factor, in terms of adaptability of the product. And not only does it help in adaptability, because your phone becomes your terminal, you can load onto it a lot of other features. Where does the guideline now, the second piece, which was on offline payments, what happens is it takes care of the connectivity issues. Now, when you go to festivals or cultural places, your ticket size are not very large, right? You have small ticket sizes, etc. So now imagine you club the soft POS functionality with offline payments. You can do small ticket transactions and then do the authorizations later. It is like a win-win situation as we go deeper into India. Now, remember, this is clear. These are clear and present issues that as we go deeper into India you face. And this is like a icing on the cake when you have both these functionalities as far as acquiring setup is concerned.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said, Mohit. So with this perspective, it is also important to talk about some of the security aspect of both the soft POS as well as the offline that we have been given the permission from RBI. So Sanjeev, coming to you, how do you see the security features and how do you compare this with the global trend on both soft POS side as well as on the offline side?
Yeah, thanks, Nilesh. Naturally, it being the Android phone, right? The soft POS is for the Android phone having NFC, the attack surface increases. So typically, if you compare a terminal which you buy or terminal which you deploy, those terminals are, I mean, they have been, I mean, hardened in terms of the hardware components. They have a separate CPU, separate RAM, separate secure area, what you call as TRSM, right? And those TRSM area, you have the SRAID. So those devices are hardened using PCI PTS, PCI POI. Naturally, these things are not factored in the phone, right? So there could be a fear that these phones, when you launch something like soft pose for acceptance of card, where did all those principle go, which was on which these specialized devices were made. But there are a few things which Android has done, especially Android 8.0 Oreo and above, which gives you confidence that over the period of time, if we study the confidence in the software based security will increase. So the moment you remove security aspect, which was pretty much hardware driven, you got to do a lot more on the software side to make things secure. So the way this soft pause thing has been organized and the soft pause has been designed, you need to have various attestation levels, right? Attestation in the sense that you have got the Google safety net to define that the device is right or not. Then you possibly have a next level in which Google gives you the trust chain, that trust my device. Then you can do device fingerprinting. Then you can do app signing. Then you can do remote key injection. So you got to do a lot more coding. You got to do make your device a lot more secure, because the work done is same. The hardware level support has gone down to make it generic, but the benefit is that the more you cover these, the benefit you get is that you have that level of security which a normal terminal has, and it is now over the air. Over the air, you can push the app on the phones. Suddenly, it becomes available. And now, statistically speaking, pretty much close to 60 to 70% transactions are less than 2,000 rupees that do not require PIN. So the ticket size by the risk has gone down, and now it is a contactless transaction by tap. So I mean, it is pretty much the risk has also gone down with the strong filters like Google safety net, device fingerprinting, side channel attacks, like I mean, don't allow cameras to be opened when the card is being scanned. So all those things. So it's like the burden on the software has increased, but for all good. You have the app made, you have the app transmitted over the air, and from the word go, this is the, I mean, one can onboarding can happen, and transaction can happen, payouts can happen. And with this happening, it will be such a light touch, I mean, model that spread what you have said, 5 million to 50 million suddenly looks feasible.
Absolutely. So where we heard from Mohit on the fact that it really finds its use case in general adaptability of from the merchant side. You have also highlighted the fact that while there is some hard work on the player side to put together the application and make it secure, the kind of benefit that it provides for the long run is enormous. So from there, let's talk about and continue talk on the use cases. And coming to Vishal, so how do you see this whole offline thing and soft pause from the speed of transaction perspective? And how can it amplify the number of use case which may exist or may not exist, but it will get amplified further with soft pause and offline solution coming in together?
First of all, thanks Nilesh for inviting me. So Sanjeev spoke about security, Mohit spoke about the use cases and the ample opportunity available within India. Now there are very clearly two important aspects to the soft pause. One is that there is always a very high cost of capex, and second is that the cost of execution and rollout. What happens with soft pause is that you actually get away with the cost of the terminal. So it's your own device. User merchant has its own device, and on its own device, you can actually download the application and start using the application for accepting transactions. So one is very clearly the cost of device which gets away. Second is in terms of the execution. Now, like 1600 cities which Mohit spoke about, rolling out, sending out terminals, managing the application on the terminals, obviously it is a hell of a job. So when it is soft POS, you can actually send over, push the application over the air, and there are upgrades which can happen very regularly. So I think very clearly these two big problems are being sorted out by soft POS, and which also means that the application which people have developed now in the industry also covers four important elements or SKUs of payments, which is tap on phone, which is UPI, which is QR code, and the last one is SMS and email invoicing. So I think from a speed point of view, from the rollout execution point of view, there is much more easy way to deliver the things, and that's what is soft POS. Then also look at the lower of the pyramid merchants, where these merchants are not uh, doing as much transaction as required for us to make an substantial ROI. There, soft POS is a very super business case because merchant doesn't have to pay high rent, and at the same time, you don't really have to invest into managing that equipment to the extent which is required. So I think soft POS is a very clear case of reducing the cost, managing the speed, and also rolling out the more complex and sophisticated applications on the terminal, on the mobile application.
Right, right. So Vishal, if you can also speak about some of the offline opportunities and the use cases that it can convert for us, which may be existing or may not be there today, but it can definitely form a large part of our transaction sets in the near future.
So, Nilesh, offline is a very interesting case for from two standpoints. One is very clearly we have still issues in terms of the connectivity. If the number are right, then we still face almost about 3 to 4% of the transactions getting dropped out because of the connectivity issue. So very clearly, there is a connectivity issue. When you go down in the remote area, you find problems to accept transaction. I think very clearly the offline transaction will address that problem, sorry. And the other thing is when it comes to the new segments which should be brought on to the board from an acquiring standpoint or for the digital payment standpoint, very clearly you have use cases like toll, uh, parking, transit, and quick checkout. So I think very clearly this offline transaction will help manage the 3 or 4% loss or the loss in the transaction. At the same time, it will help us get more merchant segments. Now we have been talking, the entire industry is talking about 5 to 50 million, and it cannot be achieved until unless we actually get this kind of merchants which are into transit, parking, toll, and the quick checkout, maybe the fares, state fares, which Mohit spoke about. Those merchants we have to brought into our fold. Those
Right,
merchants has to be brought into our fold, and I think SoftPOS will really play a major role there.
right, right.
Offline transaction as well.
Right, right. So Vishal, on one last point that I just wanted to take your views on is the fact that offline will also kind of take away the load, which may be there at the bank system to be able to manage the authentication piece or the manage authorization piece every single time that the transaction is coming online. So as we grow, as we have seen in the last 3 4 years time, the kind of scale that digital transactions have gained, if we were to look at the near future or midterm future, may not be the systems which are available today with the banks would be able to sustain that kind of scale. So it would be good idea, to take away some part of the load in terms of offline transactions and materialize that outside the banking system. So do you think offline solution, the way we have positioned it, will facilitate that and will kind of take away that load from the banking ecosystem?
Yeah. So now today the offline is more on a pilot base. So it will continue for I think till March 2021. But
True.
very clearly, it will also give an opportunity for the banks to offload their investment on their hardware and infrastructure. Because very clearly, if we have to grow from 5 million to 50 million, we have to hive off some of the investments onto the systems like offline, and especially for the use cases which are very much very much clearly evident for the offline cases. So I very clearly see that there is an advantage in having the offline transactions, and which will help the banks to offload some of their investment onto the systems which are not really required to be there in terms of the online side. So very,
right.
you are right.
Right. Thanks, Vishal. So, Mr. Tata ji, I'll come to you now, and let's talk about some of the benefits that the small ticket size transactions, which will happen on the soft POS and offline kind of environment, will create the need for for all of us.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Nilesh, for inviting me. See, at the yeah, we should see here three aspects are there. One is the soft POS, which is practically our mobile phones will become a soft POS. That physical
True.
POS is no more required.
True.
Second is the contactless payment, which is the need of the time. In this COVID era, whatever things are happening, this is the need. Third, we see it is the offline payments. Correct? See, in the
Right.
offline, what will happen? This network dependency will come down. There is no need of the transaction hitting the bank server and giving the authorization, authentication, all these things will not be required. Now we see the other aspect. Now it's network, everything is fine in tier 1, tier 2 cities. But when we go towards the digital India, the real things lies in the tier 4, tier 5 cities or tier 3, tier 4 cities.
Right.
That network, this infrastructure, all these things are not there. So
Right.
all these things really add to the value. First, there is no cost of a separate owning a POS machine. Even my mobile phone will become a POS. That acceptance will come. And further, if you see the number of transactions which are taking place now, what I feel nearly 80% of transactions are less than 2000 rupees, individual
Right.
level.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So here the use cases comes. All these things, even the Reserve Bank has permitted, our regulator has permitted up to 2000 rupees, you can go for the contactless.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
These are the advantage. First. Second, if you see, there are so many instances where people are exchanging the money, but that is not getting recorded. Like I'm paying my parking fees, that is not getting recorded anywhere.
True.
Small kirana shops, that is not getting recorded. Once we go for that, all these things will be recorded. Maybe in the down the line, that credit history will be built. Once
True.
that credit history will be built, banks can give the credit to them also. Like we can see PM Swanidhi, the glaring example. It is a very successful scheme where street vendors are getting the support from the banks. So this is a
True.
really good concept and we have to go with that. These are the my EA. And third and last point, success rate is going to increase once we go for the offline mode, contactless. Naturally, success is going to increase. And once the ecosystem increases with the success rate, the reliability and the basic confidence of the users will be built in. Yeah,
True. True. Well said. Well said.
yeah.
So, with this, let me just bring the context back to Mohit, you, and with respect to some of the benefits that the cardholder and the merchants will get. Let's talk about the liability part of it. So, what is your view on the liability, the limited liability, which, as per RBI pilot approval that they have given, they expect that the limited liability is with the consumer. So what are your views on that?
So I think Sanjeev also alluded to the fact earlier that the since the transaction and ticket size is lower, and as Vishal mentioned, the pilot is till March, you'll get more reads from the pilot, and obviously we are trying to experiment and see how the adoption picks up and what is happening. But considering that the ticket size is small, I think, and the benefits, just realize you are not only making the whole transaction digital, you are making it touchless, right? In these
Correct.
times, you are moving to a contactless transaction. I've seen a lot of instances where people don't want to touch paper or accept paper, whether it is in form of cash or a bill. So there is a convenience around it, and the pilot will tell us what is the adoption rate, and second
Right.
is it will tell us whether the consumer is okay with the benefit and convenience that this brings in. Are they willing to take that liability? And see the liability, there are a lot of players involved in the ecosystem, right?
True.
So
True.
and
True.
everybody is gunning for the fact that this takes up the entire agenda of digital and contactless transaction.
Right.
So we are just hoping and that the results are encouraging enough that we are the liability side of it doesn't. I mean, the liability side of it is not as as big a concern for the benefits that this entire ecosystem will bring in.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we can definitely weigh this limited
Yes.
liability clause that RBI has given us with respect to the benefits that it will bring for
Absolutely.
the larger cause.
See, ultimately, the system will evolve, ecosystem will evolve, people will come to know, and that's what
True,
pilots are for, right?
true, true,
And
true.
sooner or later, you will have brand ambassadors, not in only in terms of banks, you'll have brand ambassadors in terms of merchants also.
Absolutely.
So we are banking on the fact that the entire ecosystem adopts it and also encourages people to take it. So it is just about training and the pilot being successful.
Sure,
So let's see.
sure.
We are fingers crossed. I hope it takes off.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. So coming to Vishal, what are your views on the reliability and the convenience that these kind of payment facility brings to the consumers?
Talking about the offline first, if you look at the offline transactions, the ticket size as of now is limited to 200. So, which obviously means that the exposure is very limited. Now, today, if you look at the transaction, an NFC transaction typically takes almost about 5 seconds to 10 seconds or 11 seconds for a transaction to go through. Now, this will really come down to 1 second, which is an experience in itself. Then,
Absolutely.
then you look at the use case. Now, today, if I am at a quick checkout restaurant, within a second, I can do a transaction and then just move on. If I am in a
True.
transit, if I am taking a transit in a bus, I can do a transaction within a second. And I think that's the experience which will count. The only thing is that after the experiment, we'll have to realize and figure out whether this 200 really makes sense or it should actually come down to a level of 2000, which I think in the transit case, it is still allowed the offline transaction
Yes,
to 2000.
yes.
So we'll have to see whether what is the right ticket size and what is the right amount of risk mitigations players are able to put in. Offline transaction obviously will call for some bit of trouble in terms of risk or also in terms of settlement. But I think in this 5 or 6 months, we'll have to figure out and see how we put our process in place and figure out that there is no inconvenience to a customer as well as to the merchant. So if that is something we are able to balance off, uh, it's going to be much more beneficial for us. On the soft POS, I believe it's completely convenience from a merchant standpoint because it is bring your own device, do it yourself. So a merchant can easily uh, get onto a mobile application and download application and be a merchant on the same day itself. So that's
Right.
a big convenience. Secondly, the soft POS will record all the transactions which you can see on the mobile application. So which means that there is a lot of convenience on the merchant side. Tap on
Absolutely.
phone will bring a lot of convenience to the cardholder because of the COVID. Everybody wants a contactless payment, and tap on phone will actually help us achieve that objective. So it is
Right.
convenience, it is speed, it is risk-free, secured, and obviously it is much more cheaper. So I think
Right.
it has all the elements which makes a product successful in a payment environment. So I think
Absolutely.
offline and soft POS both should be really growing faster.
Right, 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 Vishal. So, Sanjeev, coming to you, can we just hear your views on how this whole soft POS and offline thing will bring the wider acceptability with the retail merchants? Mohit already spoke about that point in his topic, but what are your views on this? How will it bring wider acceptance?
See, there are, two parts to it, right? So one is, offline below 200 and other is, soft pause, right? So offline below 200, a lot has been talked here and all true and valid because this less than 200, there is no load on the network. There is no additional load on the banking switch. The transaction, it is literally as you say, that 300 millisecond the contactless read has to happen. Worst case is 1 second for a transaction, which is literally 5 to 6 times or more efficient than what you have on a normal card. And finding it hard to say, but at least 1 second against to 25 to 30 seconds the transactions on the QR it takes, right? So that's the kind of efficiency we are gunning at without impacting the and saving the telco load, saving the bank switch load. It's all win-win and the risk is minimal. Risk is very minimal, right? 200 rupees transaction is the risk is kind of no risk. Now coming to the soft POS side of it, see, lot of digital transactions will come owing to this soft POS thing and owing to this offline thing, and transactions which were otherwise cash will turn into a card or will turn into this thing offline card.
Right.
Now with the soft POS coming, the merchants who were hesitant to accept the digital payments, that where to keep the terminal, where to put the charging slot, keep the terminal charged. Out of 100 transactions I do only 3-4 give me card. Owing to these times, especially these COVID times, the card holders, the people want it all touchless, either it is through QR or through the card, and with contactless coming, and that too offline, and that too on a merchant phone. I think it's all everything is coming together to make it a hit, right? So acceptance no doubt will increase. I think only catch point here is that in terms of penetration of contactless terminals since 2016, every terminal is contactless. A lot of phones are having NFC support. Acceptance wide, I'm not worried. One of the panelists here was saying that we have that the brand ambassador from the bank, it will move to the merchants as well. I feel that we have to add a third actor into it, that the cards issued should default be contactless as well, of course with a limit and to manage the risk. The problem here is, so let me state one problem also, that the cards have to be issued more and more which are contactless in nature. Of course you put a limit to minimize the risk, and those limits are well placed, right? But if that happens, then there is a sudden growth anyway in the contactless transaction. In the every month you have the progression happening.
Absolutely.
From 5% to now already 17%, 18% transactions are contactless in nature, right? I think there has to be, it will reach a tipping point or a saturation point where it will not increase because the issued base is not having the contactless, or even if it is having, enablement is not done. But when that happens, the intersection will be so wide that it will be win-win for everybody. That you will have the merchants having their normal phone meeting their average ticket size. Half the transaction are not even requiring SIM real time. Bank system not getting loaded, and then you have the customers coming mostly tap and pay. They are feeling safe in the payment. They don't even have to hand over the card to someone else. So that's again the added safety, not owing to COVID, but the comfort that my card has not left my hand. That's a big thing, by the way. That's so all those things will add together. As Vishal was saying, that let's wait for the pilot to happen. Fingers crossed. But if we do mathematical calculations, things should not go any wrong from here.
Absolutely. We all are having the fingers crossed, and we are all hoping that by 31st March 2021, we will have a good story to look at.
Absolutely. Agree.
Yeah. So, Mr. Tata, let me just take the next question to you with respect to the initial investment and the installation cost, which are typically associated with any physical device. How will it get impacted with soft POS and offline coming in?
Here I would like to say the acceptance of soft POS, it has got few dimensions. One thing is the ownership. Flexibility is there. And second, that independence you are having. See, you can do it yourself. What I understand, no need of depending on some engineer or someone. They will come and they will install the POS. All these things are not there.
True.
You yourself can configure it, and what I understand, maybe maximum 30 minutes or 45 minutes, you are ready to do the business.
Absolutely.
So that is the flexibility, and that is the ease of doing the things.
Absolutely.
And second, no extra investment. Your smartphone is now your POS. You are a merchant acquirer the moment you are having a smartphone. So that is a very good concept. So no initial investment, extra investment is there. No installation issues are there, and further whatever transactions are taking place, you can see in your e-khata or e-ledger. We can tell in the e-ledger. So that gives the confidence also. Yes, I have received the payment. And second, if you say offline, that a network dependency is not there. Earlier, my colleagues were also telling it. So that is also having an added advantage.
Absolutely. Great. Great. So, great. All the discussion points that we have had and all the responses that we have had from you does gives us the confidence that soft POS and offline POS do have the capability to play that catalyst role to make Digital Bharat dream true and take the 5 million POS acceptance what we have today to 50 million POS acceptance touch points indeed.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for your time and your views. Uh, we have completed the session. Thank you very much.